William Whalen here for GetMoreSports.com. Now that we are down to the final 4 teams left in college basketball, it's time to talk about some of the top prospects for the NBA that we have left to watch. Now, some of the standout performers from this weekend, from the last few weekends even, are not going to be seen playing on NBA Game Time or NBA on TNT or anything like that. Some of these guys are simply great college basketball players that may not necessarily get a shot at the NBA. However, a number of the players that we have left to enjoy are going to be heading to the NBA next year. So let's talk about some of the top prospects that we have for the 2015 draft. And you can't talk about the 2015 draft without talking about Kentucky. You can't talk about anything in college basketball without talking about Kentucky. And let's talk about their top overall prospect, and that is, of course, freshman Karl-Anthony Towns. The big man can do it all inside, really good footwork, great hands, evolving as a rim protector on the defensive end. Certainly is no Willie Cauley-Stein in that regard, but Karl-Anthony Towns is arguably the top overall prospect in the country right now, right there neck and neck, I think, with Jahlil Okafor of Duke, who we'll talk about in just a moment. Willie Cauley-Stein, of course, on Kentucky as well. Devin Booker, the Harrison twins, many are torn on them about where their future NBA prospects stand. Of course, a guy like Trey Lyles is right in that conversation as well. But I think really Karl-Anthony Towns and Willie Cauley-Stein are on a different level a bit as NBA prospects right now compared to some of their counterparts. Going on down the list of that Final Four, looking at Wisconsin. Of course, you have Frank Kaminsky, the Big Ten Player of the Year, for many the National Player of the Year, but really a guy who's kind of skyrocketed his stock, of course, has been Sam Dekker, someone who shunned the NBA a year ago, came back to Wisconsin, struggled with consistency through much of the season, and many thought, well, the NBA just might not be in his cards after this year either. Yet Dekker has really come on strong late in the season, showing off his skill set, mixed with his athletic ability and basketball IQ, one of the more intriguing prospects left in the draft. Really on the other side, we've got Jahlil Okafor, Tyus Jones, Justice Winslow on Duke, all NBA draft prospects. Of course, Winslow and Okafor a bit higher on draft boards right now. However, Tyus Jones, I think, is climbing his way back up. Michigan State doesn't exactly have a jumping out at you NBA prospect. Denzel Valentine is who I would pick as their top prospect. His combination of shooting, size, and passing really makes him a bit different from many of the guys left in the draft, at least in terms of sleeper type of picks. He could be a Danny Green type of guy after a number of years in the NBA. I do think those are the top draft prospects left in the NCAA tournament. It's going to be fun to see how they perform in the Final Four, and of course, leading up to draft day, where they fall.